Alright, so I'm not really...
Alright, before we get into this, I'd just like to point out how obvious it is that you are using a voice changer, even though there is absolutely zero reason to do this, unless you have something to hide. And given how you claim to not be NoobTubeGamer, this does not help your case. For those of you that don't know, I claim that this John Smith character was an alt of NoobTubeGamer created for the purpose of making further video responses to Rags after NoobTubeGamer made his final message to Rags about 3 weeks ago. However, when I first claimed this, you didn't respond to it. NoobTube did. Not actually addressing the claim, no. Just simply stating, making statements without any actual evidence. PC fanboy's specialty. So, of course, I did what any butthurt PC fanboy would do. I gave him my evidence. Specifically, that the name itself is incredibly generic, John Smith. Absolutely no effort has gone into personalization of the account. And he supports NoobTubeGamer pretty much in everything he posts. My point is, you claim to not be Mr. NoobTubeGamer, but you're not doing a very good job of convincing me.
Gonna go into depth about gaming and the gaming discussion, because that's really not my goal of the video. And I will discuss a few things about gaming because I have to.
I won't, but I will.
And I'll get into that in a bit. So Rags is saying that Mr. NoobTubeGamer is all sneaky, he's so deceptive.
Yes, he did. And seeing as some of the things that NoobTubeGamer posts and hearing some of the things that he says, I can definitely see why.
Ooh, okay.
Where he's been deceitful with his evidence. Ooh.
Sorry, just had to put that there.
He's saying all this stuff, and I watched his 2 videos, and I'm going to be analyzing his evidence and prove why it's BS. Why his evidence is invalid, and that claim is invalid, and that Mr. NoobTubeGamer did not lie.
I look forward to seeing how you try.
Now let's talk about, they don't have cross-game chat, which is what he said.
What NoobTubeGamer said, you may want to be a little more clear on that.
Let's get onto this. Now, you see what I highlighted here? Take a minute to read that. He basically talks about how voice chat is a little bit laggy, the delay, like you can't respond to your teammate that well, or they can't respond to you that well.
I assume this thread is about the Steam in-game voice chat. I have prior experience with this, and yes, the in-game Steam voice chat has about a half-second delay between when you actually speak something and your friend actually hears it. This can be annoying in some circumstances. However, this experience is not recent, so please take this with a grain of salt.
Skype, and he talks about how Skype is easier to use, quicker.
In my personal experience, yes, Skype has been less laggy than the Steam in-game voice chat. However, as I said before, I have not used the Steam in-game voice chat in a couple years, and improvements could have been made. So again, grain of salt.
Yeah. Now, let's just continue on. So this guy replied somewhat, kind of, refuting what he said. TeamSpeak, more clear, less lag. Agreed. TeamSpeak is much better. Okay. In-game, simplest way. Okay. I don't have a problem with simple. Simple's always good. Minor lag. Now, this doesn't really ruin the whole in-game chat for Steam, but still, that does make it, that does lower the quality.
This doesn't prove anything, though. NoobTube's argument was that Steam did not have cross-game chat at all, which Rags refuted with video evidence. The only thing this proves is that Steam in-game chat is kind of
Little ruffled up on quality, exactly. Only plebs use Skype.
I'm gonna save you some time and cut out some of this chaff where he talks about the other voice chat programs, but of course, the link to the original video is in the description.
One advantage is that you'll be able to communicate while still connecting / loading.
Connecting or loading does not stop a Steam voice chat, because for the most part the Steam overlay stays separate from the game you're playing. If your call crashes, then it was doing no fault to the game.
See? If your game crashes, um then you lose the call. Like if Steam crashes on you, you lose the call.
If the game crashes, no, you will not lose your Steam call. If Steam crashes, well, then yeah, but that's kind of a given.
And I could see how some people don't like Skype because sometimes Skype does crash, and it makes sense why some people wouldn't like it. But it's still better than this little cross game chat they have. Okay, so next, in
Whoa, whoa, whoa there, cowboy! Aren't we forgetting something? Something slightly important? Like perhaps the entire argument NoobTubeGamer made in the first place? This in no way proves that Steam doesn't have cross-game chat. You even just said yourself that it does. Or that Rags is a liar. It just proves that Steam in-game voice chat is...
game, you have to wait until the specific person you want to talk to at least connects to the game. That's true.
That is not true, and anyone who has used Steam voice chat and is answering about it truthfully will say the same thing.
And that's why you should use like TeamSpeak or something. And yeah. So that debunks his stupid cross game chat argument.
It does not, and you are a fool for thinking that it did.
Alright, now first of all, I'm using an incognito tab because I don't really want people to see my name.
Of course you don't. Who knows what people could do with that kind of information?
So yeah, that's why. Now let's talk about this. Oh my god. Really? So he talks about how he edited out this part.
Now, out of curiosity, I went to the same article, and I got this. The date and number of comments are all where they should be. Now, I pretty much live out in the middle of nowhere. A little town called Rockville, Rhode Island, if you're interested. Hardly even a town by definition. My point is, I don't get very good internet. Don't you make the excuse of bad internet to me about this. I could load everything just fine.
Okay, so the 3 years ago and the 9 comments. And at the time, I think it was 2 years ago.
And even then it was incredibly outdated.
Not sure. Now let's refresh the page. And I'm gonna prove to you it's not fake. I'm gonna scroll all over the place.
Kind of unnecessary, but thanks. Nice to know you're the paragon of truth in this matter.
This is not fake. And I didn't put any white things in the video or whatever. Okay, did you see that? Okay, so if you didn't see that, rewind. What happened was that it was completely blank, the comments thing, and it also said 0. Yeah, makes sense?
Well, yeah, but the numbers are still there. And in case you're curious, the number of comments is so low because Cinemablend actually closed the comments soon after they released the article, and then only reopened them recently. The oldest comment there, as of December 2016, is 6 months old.
Yeah, it said 0, and let's refresh this thing again. If this thing loads. Because this loads weirdly. It does.
The only weird thing I see about it is that ad clipping through that one picture.
And sometimes the ads and stuff just block things off.
Then don't you think, for example, the Facebook, Twitter buttons and stuff would have gotten in the way of the author? Chaff!
See that? You see, this part right here is the most, I don't know, it's just most stickiest or whatever to the page.
The most stickiest or whatever. Got it.
I don't know, but as you saw, like the 3 years ago part was a little all.
Yeah, but aren't you noticing something? It's still there!
Sort of, like, kind of all over the place for one frame, but that doesn't really show how the years part was edited out. The site's probably got improved or something, so it does load faster. I don't know. Let's see. Let's take a look at this. Again, the comments took forever to load, and
Oh no, a whole 2 seconds.
maybe at the time that maybe back in, what was it, 2015? I don't know the year, I don't remember. But who knows? Maybe it loaded this like right away, and it took some time for these two things to load.
They're still there, you know.
Cause like this is the main thing, and if you look at this is a link. These two are not links.
Honestly, that should make them easier to load.
All right, they're very different things. I click on this stuff, doesn't work. If I wanted to click this, it would work, but I don't have to. Load.
Skipping ahead.
Yeah, you can see it right here that it takes a while to load stuff, and it's really annoying. Piss off. Make sense?
You know, I can't help but notice that whenever you load these pages, the date and number of comments, what you brought up this argument for, every time you load the page, it's there. This isn't helping you.
So yeah. That doesn't really prove that he was sitting down on his computer like a creep and editing a screenshot.
Well, of course not. You can't conclusively prove that he was at his computer editing that screenshot unless he admits to it. But based on what I've seen up to this point, and even what I've seen from your own video, there's a lot of evidence to hint that he was.
Which is not what happened. You don't have any proof of that.
We do now. You literally tested for us how reliable that site is and how often it will load that date and amount of comments. And it did. Every time.
You can't make a claim like that and not provide any proof.
Pot, meat, kettle.
I'm just gonna keep clicking on articles
And it's gonna keep loading those two numbers every time.
and show you that this is a real thing. Because it does lag.
But the numbers are still there. You don't understand your own arguments.
Look how spazzy this is. So I think I made my point clear.
Sure, I think you did. Your point was that NoobTubeGamer couldn't have possibly edited out those two numbers, and you proved it by proving yourself wrong a grand total of 15 times by showing us that those numbers would in fact load. Oh.
That there's no proof that Mr. NoobTubeGamer decided one day, oh my god, shut. So there's no proof that one day Mr. NoobTubeGamer thought, oh, while I'm making this PC gaming versus consoles video, why don't I just go edit a screenshot?
Sure, let's edit out the date on this article that could look really good if people legitimately thought that this was recent evidence. You know, which it very clearly is not.
No proof of that. There's no proof that he was sitting on his butt and editing, alright? Unless you go to his house and you visit him or something or whatever, or you sneak in and you get your phone out and you record him editing like a creep, all slouched over, then you can make that claim, alright? Then you can make it. even though that'd be illegal, but then you'd be able to make that claim.
Claims do not require conclusive evidence to have to be made. Have you ever heard of theories?
But if you're just sitting at your computer at home and you're really not seeing like the full, what is it, like situation, I guess? I don't know. Sometimes I just don't word things well.
I did not see the Big Bang happen. Therefore, the Big Bang must not have happened.
Like the loading glitch. He either didn't see that or he decided to be sneaky and deceptive and hide that, and I bet he was just trying to hide it. Shoot.
What is there to hide? You still loaded the date and number of comments every time you tried.
I bet he was just trying to hide it, just to sneak it, just to be sneaky and deceptive, as he would say. And yeah, he just wants to be sneaky, and he talks about how Mr. NoobTubeGamer is sneaky and deceptive. Rags, who's really sneaky and deceptive now, alright?
Really, the only one who's eligible to be called sneaky is Mr. NoobTubeGamer, but okay. Plus, you do know that people can go and watch Mr. NoobTubeGamer's video for themselves, right?
Once people watch this video, I know they're going to be a bunch of sheep and dislike the video, but when they take a look at your video, when they take a look at this, like somebody with a mind, they look at my video and then they look back at yours, they're going to realize what an idiot you are, and they're going to realize what a liar you are.
Or, how about this? They will see that you literally achieved nothing in either supporting NoobTubeGamer or proving Rags to be a liar. You didn't prove that Steam didn't have cross-game chat. You didn't refute Rags' claim that it did. You just proved that it was And if anything, you helped Rags with your second point by proving how the website can load numbers like the date and the number of comments consistently. You literally accomplished nothing by making this video. You didn't prove Rags to be a liar, and you certainly didn't absolve Mr. NoobTubeGamer of any of the blame placed upon him. Honestly, if there's anything to be learned from this, is that you should always eat breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. I need some sleep.